Are you eating less, exercising more, and still can't lose weight? You're not alone. Most people make these 5 simple mistakes and never even realize it. I found this out the hard way, selling body fat scanners while my own belly kept growing. Bit ironic. Then I fixed these 5 mistakes and lost a bunch of weight. Finally got me back being trim and comfortable walking down the street shirtless again. So today I'll show you exactly what to change so you can start seeing the same results super fast. All right, mistake number 1 is the silent fat loss killer. Nearly all of this ignored, but it's wrecking our results. Mistake number 1 is stress and high cortisol. Picture your stress like this jar of Maltesers. Each time you're behind on deadlines and you get stressed, the jar fills up. Kids are sick, you add a little more. Arguing with your partner, another handful. Before long, the jar's overflowing, and so's your cortisol and stress levels. When your stress jar fills up, your body goes into fat storage mode. High cortisol activates an enzyme called lipoprotein lipase. That locks fat in and makes it harder to burn. And the cruel part, a full stress jar means more cravings for sugar, which is probably why I chose this jar of Maltesers. And calories still matter, but if your stress jar keeps filling up, your body's stuck in storage mode. And if you want to empty it super fast, try a 5-minute brain dump before bed, just writing down all the things that are making you stress so you can just release it and have a 30-second cold shower. If you drop your stress, you'll finally start burning fat again. So we all know now high cortisol can quietly pile on body fat. But here's the kicker. The same stress often rolls straight into the next big mistake, sleep restriction. I've been wearing a Garmin now for about 3 months. And I'll be honest, it gets a little bit obsessive. But the data doesn't lie. On nights when my sleep drops, I feel it everywhere. Just last weekend, I went to an Oasis concert on Saturday. Side note, I apologize to everyone who's ever heard me sing Wonderwall. I thought I was a lot better than I was. Then Sunday, I hit up a rugby game and finished with a late night dinner. I barely scraped together 8 hours of sleep across the whole weekend. I didn't train after this. I craved junk and my work. Let's just say I wasn't selling body fat scanners anytime soon. Now, I'm not saying you need to channel your inner Brian Johnson and chase the perfect sleep score every night, but here's the reality. Sleeping less than 6 hours doesn't just make you tired, it messes up your entire system. Testosterone drops and cortisol spikes. And we know from the previous point what cortisol does to your body. Your body's basically waving the white flag. Your hunger hormones go haywire. Leptin, the I'm full signal, drops, while ghrelin, the feed me alarm, cranks up so you're hungrier and burn fat less. Even if your diet doesn't change, your insulin sensitivity can fall by up to 30%. That means more of what you eat gets stored as body fat instead of muscle. And get this, studies show that people who sleep less lose 45% less fat, even on the exact same diet. If you want to see your hard work actually pay off, treat sleep like your secret weapon. Set a bedtime, ditch your late night scrolling, and aim for at least 7 hours a night. Your body and your results will thank you. Now, I get it if you're a new parent, it's a little bit harder to get those 7 hours sleep. So just get it where you can. Nap during the day. I know you got work, but nap in your lunch break. Whatever you can do to get those 7 hours, your body will thank you. Okay, next I'll show you why insulin and poor glucose control is sabotaging your fat loss goals. Picture this, you're eating well, you're working out, but your body fat just won't budge. It's like you're following the rules, but fat loss is just stuck in neutral. Why does this happen? Here's what's likely going on behind the scenes. When your insulin is chronically high, maybe from too much sugar, stress, or just years of modern living, your fat cells clamp shut. Scientists call it the fat lock. Instead of burning stored energy, the body keeps it under lock and key. And it gets worse. Your muscles, which should be soaking up glucose for energy, starts ignoring it. So where does all the extra glucose go? Straight into fat storage, especially the visceral kind that hugs your organs and raises health risks like diabetes, heart disease, and cancers. That's what my body fat scanners do. I'm not trying to sell you one, unless you want one. And here's the thing. Even if you eat the same number of calories, insulin-resistant people can gain up to twice as much visceral fat as those with healthy insulin sensitivity. That's like 2 people running the same race, but one's wearing a 20-pound backpack. It's not all doom and gloom. Here's the good news. You could turn this around super fast. Studies show that 7 to 10 days of strength training and daily movement can dramatically improve insulin sensitivity. That means your body starts unlocking fat for energy, and those stubborn pounds finally get moving. What to do? Don't overcomplicate it. Add a few walks into your program, do a couple of strength training per week, and keep your meals balanced. You don't need to be perfect. Just stay consistent. Your body will thank you and you'll finally start seeing the scales move the right way. So if you feel like fat loss is locked away, it's time to change the combination. A little movement goes a long way. Let's jump into mistake number 4, low muscle mass and inactive tissue. Let's paint this picture. Imagine your body is like a car engine. The more muscle you have, the bigger and more powerful the engine is, even when you're just idling. In fact, every pound of muscle burns about 6 calories a day at rest just by being there. Lose muscle and suddenly your metabolism hits the brakes. But it gets better. When you hit the weights, your body doesn't just burn calories during the workout. Resistance training actually cranks up your energy by up to 48 hours after you leave the gym. That's like getting paid long after you've clocked out of work. And here's something that most people miss. Muscle acts as a metabolic sink for glucose. The more muscle you have and uses sugar, keeping insulin sensitivity high and fat storage low. But if you lose muscle, fat oxidation drops and your body becomes a lot more likely to store fat instead of burning it. Less muscle equals a slower metabolism and a big fat storage tendency. Not a combo that anyone wants. So what to do? Don't overthink it. Add a couple of resistance workouts each week. Focus on getting stronger and keep your muscles active. You don't need to live in the gym like Arnie Schwarzenegger. Just make building and keeping muscle a non-negotiable. More muscle equals more calories burned, better fat loss, and a body that works for you, not against you. Treat your muscle like gold. It pays you every single day. All right, so you're training hard, eating smart, and building muscle, but there's one last mistake that can quietly undo all your progress. Okay, so next I'll talk about why when you eat is just as important as what you eat. This brings us to mistake number 5, circadian disruption and meal timing. Imagine your body is like a finely tuned orchestra. When everything's in sync, the music, your metabolism is more powerful. Start eating at odd hours and suddenly the instruments are all out of tune. Here's what most people miss. Late night meals aren't just a calorie thing. Eating late can actually reduce the calories you burn from food by about 20% compared to eating earlier in the day. That's like getting dock points for eating the same meal at the wrong time. And it even gets worse. Night shift workers who eat and sleep out of sync with daylight can gain 3 to 5 times more visceral fat, even if their calories and workouts are the same. It's not just what's on your plate, but when you eat it, that counts. So why does this happen? When your light exposure is off, think scrolling your phone at midnight or eating in front of the TV, your body's melatonin stays low and insulin sensitivity drops. Translation, your body is worse at handling carbs and more likely to store it as fat at night. But here's the easy fix. Keep your meals inside 10 to 12 hour window during the day when your body's primed to use that fuel. You don't need to fast for days. Just try eating breakfast a bit earlier and close the kitchen after dinner. And no more Maltesers after dinner. So what to do? Pick a 10 to 12 hour window that fits your life. Say 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Stick to daylight eating and dim the lights at night. Watch how easy this fat loss becomes. No extra workouts required. So bottom line, sync your meals with your body's natural clock and you'll unlock better results with less effort. Sometimes timing is really everything. So here's the real secret. Calories might set the stage, but it's the hormones, sleep, stress, muscle, and even timing that decides whether those calories get burned off or locked away. In other words, it's not just what you eat, it's how you live, train, and sleep that tips the scales. Think of your body like a high-performance car. Sure, fuel matters, but if your engine's out of tune, the timing's off, you're running on flat tires, you never hit top speed. When you get these hidden levers working for you, better sleep, less stress, more muscle, and smarter meal timing, suddenly fat loss isn't a grind. It's just what your body naturally does. So instead of obsessing over every calorie, zoom out and think about the bigger picture. Tweak your habits, treat your body well, and let those results follow. Trust me, when you get these foundations right, everything else falls into place. I'll see you in the next video.